Right. Okay. Hey, everybody. I am Kate Weber. I'm the president of OASL this school year. And this is the latest in our series of webinars that we've been holding. This one is in particular about Destiny Holds, setup notices, and more. And I really want to thank Carrie Light, who is one of the district librarians in Lake Oswego, for putting this together.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for coming today on a Thursday. My name is Carrie Light, and I am one of 2 district librarians in the Lake Oswego School District. And happy to have a team here with me today, and I'll let you all introduce yourselves.
Great. I'm Miranda Doyle. I am the other district librarian in Lake Oswego School District, fortunate to work with Carrie. And I'm excited to do this today because there were so many questions about holds that we didn't get to when we talked about curbside pickup. And then Grace and Pam and Lisa, if you would introduce yourselves.
I'm Grace Butler. I'm the president-elect of OASL.
I'm Pam DeMar. I'm your technology sales representative for Destiny for the state of Oregon. For Follett, I work for Follett.
Yeah, I'm Lisa Swan. I'm your local Follett rep. So when you need help with books, I'm the person to reach out to.
So we're so happy to have you both here.
Thank you.
To have all of you here. So we'll go ahead and get started. So we have a brief presentation just to talk about some of the different settings, and then we'll have some questions and then maybe move into breakout rooms to troubleshoot or talk about very specific questions and settings.
Yeah, so using Destiny Holds and realizing that many of you may be in various stages of a school at this point, or curbside pickup, or in your libraries. I know it depends. But using Destiny Holds can be really easy for students and the library staff to use. It does encourage students to browse virtually using the catalog and maybe exploring some titles that they didn't realize your collection had. Destiny Holds are immediate. They'll update automatically, and managing them on a daily basis is pretty straightforward and simple. And so one thing to think about is just start with the student side of things. How do you want your students to use Destiny Holds? Here in Lake Oswego, when we went virtual, we weren't initially set up for the kids to place holds independently. So we needed to make sure, how are they accessing our catalog? And they're mainly going in through the Destiny Discover platform. So we needed to make sure how can they sign in. We set it up with our IT department so that they could sign in with Google. And then we needed to make sure that the kids had access to placing holds. And so we can get into later making sure that you put those settings into place. And then because none of us were in school, we created a video specific to Lake Oswego, and we posted it to all of our school library sites, pushed it out to teachers. In some cases, we've been going to visit classrooms and showing the kids how to place holds. So we thought a lot about, how can we promote this? And we started right away in the fall promoting the holds.
And when we say visiting classes, we mean virtually.
Yes, virtually.
Yeah. So one thing that we had to do right away was I did have some secondary students placing holds, and I had the whole district set to students cannot place holds on books that are on the shelf, because of course when we were in person we didn't want to have students putting holds on a book that was on the shelf and then we have to pull them, right? So we had to go in and check at a district level that box that's showing on the slide here, like, yes, they can place holds even if a copy is available, right? Because before they couldn't.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So these are actually some slides. This is information from Pam and Lisa just some things about what you can do at a district level, the one that we just showed you about, available holds, making sure that you have the permissions set up so students can place their own holds. So for many of us, that's something at a district level, unless you are the district administrator who can go in and do that. And then also getting it set up so students could log into the catalog. Previously, ours synced from our student information system, Synergy. So students had to type in their login and password. And then we worked with our IT people to get it set up so they could log in through Google using their school Google account, which seems much easier. And then at a school level, there's some policies to set up. So you see an example there from Lake Oswego Middle School. And so one thing to figure out is like, what's the maximum number of holds your students can place, which might need to be quite a few at this point in case when they come to pick up, there aren't enough of those available. You know, if you said they can place 2 holds and both of those books were out, that would be a problem because we want them to come and get a stack of books. And then how long till the holds expire, what are the max number of checkouts, all of those things we had to look at and consider.
Right, so here's some more resources that Lisa and Pam contributed for videos for using Destiny Discover, more from Follett. Miranda linked a folder there, just all kinds of tutorials and help. And then we linked our Lake Oswego video as well, just because we wanted to show them, because all the kids were virtual, you know, where do they start? We also have Clever, and so we linked the library page to Clever, so that we just wanted to show them all the steps. But this slide here has all kinds of good Follett resources for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then I think that's Lisa's videos up there too. You had someone in California, I think, who made a video. Yeah, so lots of good resources to use or make your own to guide students through it, since we aren't able to, for the most part, be right there in class. Managing holds, Carrie.
Yeah, and this is what Miranda referred to, and this was something that we're still occasionally tweaking, just to consider, right, how many holds per student. Like we didn't want the kids to get frustrated, like Miranda said, and oh, everything I'm putting on hold isn't available. So we did up their holds. Now this particular site, I don't remember which one, is now at 5 holds. One assistant was just getting a little bit overwhelmed because, you know, if every single student was putting 10 holds, there were quite a lot in the queue. So we just lowered it a bit. Think about, what is your wait time for pending holds? You don't want them to expire too quickly because, of course, you're waiting for things to come back, and you want as much checkout as possible. When should those holds expire? And then just thinking about the management and the time and effort that your library staff is going to need just to manage those holds. So the good news is you can tweak things as you go and revise. Okay. Yeah, and then the way that you can view your holds on a daily basis, and many of you who are doing this probably realized you have a flag icon on your dashboard with an exclamation point that will alert you to incoming holds. And you can also go in through circulation and look at requests as well. And this is all through like the back office part of Destiny. And I think there's a screenshot on the next slide that shows you can see it through circulation as well. Yep, you can click on holds and then view requests. Yeah. And then this is just a screenshot to show, you know, if I were to pull up my holds for today, what I would see. I blacked out the kids' names, but you would have the call number, the title, the copy, the patron name, and then you'll note that the holds won't be timestamped. They're sorted by call number and type. And so they come in that way. And then you have the option, you can click pull copy right there. Or you can, you know, go get the books and click pull copy or check them out. Either way, once you do either of those things, they'll get removed from this local requests queue. And then you also have pending holds that give you some information as well. And you can, even with the expiration date, if you set it, say, for 20 days, you can extend that date if you want to, if you know it's a super popular book, or you know you have multiple copies, you can extend the date, or you can even delete the hold. If sometimes, you know, we have kids and they don't realize that, you know, maybe they've, although I'm not sure it'll let them do this, like if they request, you know, 3 copies of the same title, it might not let them do that, but you have the ability to manage those holds. And then just real briefly, and people have been doing different strategies for their much younger kids. We do use a Google form that we've attached to our library site for, anybody can use it, but lots of the younger kids will use this instead of going into Destiny, and they'll request a type of book, or a certain genre or subject. And this is really helpful when we want to make a book bundle or pull several different types of books for a kid. So that's a possibility too. Notifying students and families, we use the current checkouts and fines report. Of course, we don't attach any fines to it, but what we do is, and I linked the steps here, is we run this report and we set a checkout date, and then that will list the specific books that you've checked out for curbside pickup, if that makes sense. We found if we just ran the holds report, it lists all the holds, even if you didn't pull them all. So let's say a child requested 10 books, but you're only going to pull 5 of them for curbside pickup this week. If you run the current checkouts report with a specific due date, that will mimic giving them what's on hold for them.
I think your steps there it'll make more sense to people when they look at that. But the question we were asking ourselves and Destiny was, well, how do we notify students of just what they have ready to pick up? Because we don't want them getting a notice saying, yeah, you have these books on hold, but you're not getting, like, we wanted to say, how do we let kids know and families know through email notices without having to do it by hand, what they have ready for pickup?
Yes, exactly. Yes.
And I'm so impressed, and Carrie might say that she got it from someone else, but I'm giving her all the credit for figuring this out, because I had no idea. So that link to the steps to run the report, if you are emailing out to say, hey, your holds are ready, that's going to be very important to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and would love to hear if other people have found, you know, another idea. On the next slide, so we have just an example of what the outcome would be of that report. And we are, because we're all still virtual, we are sending emails And we are including a book cover, an image of the book as well, which is one of the options you can choose in the report. And we found that that really helps families too, like, oh, yay, that's the book I'm getting. And so we found that that's been really helpful.
Oh, and I want to say, if you've been trying to drop messages in the chat, I'm so sorry. I had it set to only chat to host because Carrie and I were troubleshooting with Zoom earlier today. And
Oh, yes.
So now, if you would like to chat to everyone, you may. Okay. And I think we're almost to the point of questions and answers and discussion and some troubleshooting.
Definitely. Yeah. So this is just an example of what, what the families receive, what the students and the families receive. And so it doesn't even show them, anything else that they have out. It's just the due date range from what was checked out to them. And our assistants, some assistants go every day and they keep on top of the holds and they pull. And then maybe, let's say their curbside pickup is Friday. Maybe they try to check out most of their items Thursday morning that they've pulled and send that email. So there's like a day's notice. It's not like a perfect plan, because of course, sometimes they're still doing some last minute emailing right before. And but for, I would say, the majority of the notices, this is how it's going out. Okay.
I'm muted. So now we're at the point where if you would like to drop a message or a question in the chat for everyone, and then very shortly we'll move into breakout rooms. But notice right here, and I'll put the link in, or maybe one of the co-hosts will, there's a troubleshooting document. Some of these questions were from our first forum that we didn't get to, the specific questions, and then some were added later. And if you have other questions, you're welcome to put them in there. And I know there are a lot of answers that we can add. For example, someone asked, are there videos on how to place holds, which we've kind of gone through. Does anybody have, oh, perfect. There's the document. Does anybody have a, oh yeah, Lisa.
Kara, just really quick before we start that, want to make sure all of you know too, in the top right corner of Destiny is a community button. I go there constantly. You can type in specific questions. You can find free webinars, all kinds of information. If I ever have a question of how do I do this on Destiny, that's where I first start. But when in doubt, of course, in a normal year, I'd visit you in person. But if any of you don't have this Follett tech support card, email me. You can, there you go, Carrie. Reach out to me directly. I'm your local Follett rep, but I know Destiny on a basic level. Pam, she certainly knows much more than I do, but we have tech support folks. If I don't know the answer, they'll walk you right through how to do any of this. I actually had a virtual meeting with a brand new district librarian, and he didn't know how to do it. And we called them together on a virtual meeting, and they walked him exactly through his access levels and how to set that up. So when in doubt, we have a team just, that can help you, whether if you can talk on the phone or you can email them. So if you don't have their information, reach out to me. I'll put my email in there. But if you have questions in addition to this meeting, feel free to reach out to me first and I can get you in touch with the right folks. Just wanted to make sure you knew that.
Thank you. Yes. And oh, I was just going to say, we are glad to have the Destiny tech support, and you can call them really early in the morning because they're on East Coast time. So just
Central.
Oh, Central time. Sorry. Yes, of course. Still earlier than we are. And that can be a great help. Pam, did you?
Yeah, I did want to also mention, since Lisa brought up the Follett community, if you, search for videos on holds, there are some videos on showing students that students can view to see how to do a hold in Destiny Discover.
Okay, so with that, we'll put the link in again to the troubleshooting doc, and it is letting everybody edit. So you'll be able to add your questions and also answer any questions that you'd like. And I think at this point, we'll stop the recording. This is a good spot to do that. And I'm going to create some breakout rooms. If you'd like to go into breakout rooms and look at the troubleshooting doc, know that you can raise your hand and ask for help. I don't promise I will personally know the answers, but hopefully someone will, one of our co-hosts will pop in there. And if nothing else, we can gather all our questions.